Well, yeah, I don't know.
So
the race itself, another boring Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas podium. Boring or no?
no,
At
definitely
the front,
not
yeah.
boring.
At the front, yeah.
No,
It's up and down.
no, it wasn't boring. So there was
The front is what made the race fun.
right. So if you look at it, if you go like 30,000 foot, okay, yeah, same finish, whatever, blah blah blah, race sucked, etc. But at the start, we had Max Verstappen elbows out, attacking Hamilton, which was weird because
Did they hit?
They did not hit. But what was weird about it is that Hamilton was on the racing line. You would think that would be the better grip, right?
Yeah.
It was weird. I think Hamilton's being the how do you call that? He's being so seasoned as he is on Formula One. He actually saw the race, not the moment, because aggressive Hamilton they would have collided.
But I think he said post-race that he was very mindful to be careful of Max next to him because of what happened in Portugal, where he went off-road, bounced up and down, potential damage to the car that may have affected him during the race that we don't even know. Mm-hmm. So he was mindful of that.
So he learns.
He's always been mindful of Max, though. He knows
that Max is crazy,
and especially now that they're. What Hamilton is very good at, obviously he's good at, driving the car, late braking, managing tires, but he's also very good at measuring his opponent and learning his driving style. He did that with Vettel in 2017 and 2018 and got the best of him to the point where Vettel almost ran him off the road in Baku. Got him so pissed off. So now that they're where you brake check. So now that you have them racing back and forth closely, consistently now, obviously this season has been good because of that battle at the top between Verstappen and Hamilton. Hamilton again is very good at just knowing these little. Just picking up on these little things on Max's driving style, and he's very good at taking that and making or trying to taking that to his advantage where he can beat Max, getting into his head. These little comments here and there. Hamilton is the complete package. Again. If you come for the king, you best not miss.
I don't know if I would say he's in Max's head, though, because Max is very much like, oh, I just don't have the best car. Like, his comments after the race don't suggest to me that Hamilton is in his head about it.
Well, not yet. It's too early. It's only 4 races.
Yeah.
But if he keeps, for example, right now it's 3-1, right? If he keeps beating Max already looks a little bit kind of like disgruntled after the race.
Yeah.
You keep doing that, it'll start getting to him. And obviously, Lewis has way more experience, especially with a battle at the top, than Max does. And Max, we know that Max sometimes can be very, very hot-headed, and that's not something that that you can have, especially when you're fighting at the top.
Lewis did say something to that effect, like after the race, that this weekend he learned more about Max than he has ever learned in the past, like just of this race.
Really?
His driving style and stuff like that.
Yeah,
really?
He's excellent at doing that, man. He did it with Vettel. he did it with Vettel, man.
Would you say that Rosberg did it to him, and then he learned from there?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's possible.
And that he learned from Alonso, who was also a case of a teammate for him?
Yeah, I mean, you learn from your experiences, and obviously, I think he did learn something from Alonso, but he came out on top ultimately in that battle because he stayed with the team and beat him by 1 point. Well, actually, did he? Yeah, no, he lost to Alonso, I think, by 1 point. No?
I don't recall that far back. I think he lost to Kimi. He beat Alonso.
He lost to Kimi in
07.
By the way, it was 1 point.
That was a rookie year too, by the way.
Yeah.
You learn more from your defeats than you do from your victories. and he probably learned a lot more from the Rosberg situation.
So I'm so smart because I take a lot of L's. Anyway. So Max's hot start. There was also 2 other guys. Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez got off to crazy starts. They right away jumped up 2 positions. Sergio Perez in particular was very impressive. Charles Leclerc, who was also on the right side of the grid, overtook Bottas to get into 3rd position very briefly. Not even briefly, because that lasted through the pit stop.
Yes. But I think what also caused the Leclerc overtake of Bottas was the incident of Hamilton having to pretty much slam on the brakes, you could say, so he could smash through. So he was right behind Hamilton.
Bottas was right behind Hamilton.
Yep. So he had to
let off,
readjust or let off, and that's when Leclerc, I got my piece right here.
Right. So then the story for the race became the strategy calls between Red Bull and Mercedes. So I'm going to bring up the pit stops. Hopefully this graphic works. Boom, it does. So we see that Verstappen pitted in lap 24. So it was said after the race that Verstappen actually made his own call, that he may have misinterpreted something that was said from the pit wall and came in, and then that's why the tires weren't ready, and that's why the pit stop was delayed. So I do want to say
they were not ready. It's true.
Yeah, we always comment on how just automatic Red Bull is with these pit stops, that they are just consistently
like robots, the minions.
Yeah, they're consistently one of the best pit stop crews, up there with Williams, surprisingly, right? So Verstappen pitted lap 24, Hamilton pitted lap 28. It looked like from there, and you could kind of see it in the bars in the graphic here from Pirelli Motorsport on their Twitter at Pirelli Motorsport, I think it is. But you could see that, and it's something that a lot of teams thought that this could be a potential one-stop race, and you could see it under Verstappen. It looks like Mercedes had already calculated that it would be a 2-stopper. Both their drivers came in. Obviously, Hamilton came in early to try and get that longer stint on the medium, on the used but fresher mediums to try and get Verstappen. And then we see Bottas had pitted originally for the fastest lap, but then obviously it helped him towards the end. What do you guys think of these strategy issues?
So obviously looking at the graph and refreshing and everything. So do you think Verstappen went in reacting to Bottas? Because Bottas just had come in like a lap before. I don't know, because Bottas was so far behind him. Like,
right.
He wasn't right there.
Right. So
that was
so here's what I'm going to tell you, right? Probably. And the reason that I'm saying probably is that this is a very pure example of what happens when your teammate is not right there with you.
Yeah, they did emphasize on that a lot.
So very specifically, now you're stuck between the 2 Mercedes. You have to fend them both off. And I bet that in the story for Verstappen that he went into the pit before they were ready. They were saying that they were going to call him in for the next lap, and he understood it to be this lap. So
the fact that
right away
that he came in early and it was still a 4-second pit stop was
ridiculous.
Actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it almost seemed to me that Max was a little anxious because, and I don't know what the team communication is, but those are the mistakes that you can't be making because it cost him ultimately. Mm-hmm. And then with you not having the other car right behind you, then you're a sitting duck because ultimately what Mercedes did, and I don't know why they were so stubborn. If you can clearly see that the tires on all cars are graining, they're just falling off a cliff basically.
Yeah, which is typical Barcelona. Every year this happens.
Even with the resurface track, you would think that when that happens, when Hamilton comes in for that second stop, you have a window right then and there to stop right away after Hamilton, so you can at least have a chance to get the race win. But yeah, that mistake cost him, and it was obviously a longer pit stop than it should have been. That was a difference in the race right there.
So you're susceptible in that situation. You're Max Verstappen. you're susceptible to both the undercut and the overcut because both the Mercedes cars are right there. So you're kind of. Hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is @JumpTheStartF1. See you there.